show for today. The topic is the Harlem Renaissance, from Harlem to Nashville. And of course, Dr. Mitchell, let's give you an opportunity over the last 6 minutes that we have here to talk about a CD production that you and others have worked on, dealing specifically with the Harlem Renaissance. I understand that there's an interactive CD-ROM dealing with this dealing with various pathways and et cetera. Let's talk about that. Let's have you talk about it.
Well, it's exciting. We began about 10 years ago looking at the new Negro arts movement, the Harlem Renaissance, and looking at the interaction of Nashville. And Susan Knowles and Celia Walker, two consultants, two artists, New Media Productions here in Nashville, we looked at how to take this very traditional education curriculum and make it exciting. Exploit the idea of two paths to progress for African Americans. And in fact, today it's relevant because there are two paths to progress for new Americans. The path through art, literature, thinking, social consciousness. So after some years, we took certain speeches, we took certain musical productions, and we created an interactive CD-ROM entitled The New Negro Movement, the Harlem Renaissance. In 2002, it will be available. It will be available for classroom use in secondary schools and also in college and universities. We introduced the idea. It's a social science idea, it's a cultural idea, but it's really sort of the interacting now what education has become. We were in our break, we were discussing the fact that these educational CD-ROMs, video productions, media productions, are the present in classrooms. They aren't future, they're present. And it's important in all classrooms to have this available. So you're taking an arts movement, you're taking a cultural movement, and you're bringing it to the latest technology. Many students become interested simply because of the interactive nature. The particular CD-ROM, the narrator discusses it, and you can decide which path you want to take. You can take the path through literature, through art, through music. What are you creating? You're creating the educated, intellectual individual. How old are they? They're the age that you are in high school, or they are the college student. With our particular production, these two paths to progress, they end up here in Nashville, Tennessee. They end up at Fisk University. Because this was the dream of both Du Bois and Johnson and others, that you've got to have an institution, you've got to have a community where you can train leaders. They discussed at that time 10%. We argued then if just 10% of our people are educated for leadership, we can progress. Today in America, we understand that 10% of the population is not enough, that all young people, the dream of a college education, of higher education, is the American dream. It's the American reality. So we hope that this contribution from the African American experience, from the Harlem Renaissance experience, can bring about, can greatly facilitate that dream of an intellectual America.
You know, Dr. Mitchell, I think it's quite interesting that you're dealing with this interactively with CD-ROM and with most of the modern technology that we have in the classroom situation. I think it's well understood that for whatever reason, many students are not reading as much as they should today. And I think with the CD-ROM, you allow them to place this instrument into the technology of the period. And I think we see many of them walking around with all of these things stuck in their ears, et cetera, et cetera. And what you're trying to do is to provide them with a different kind of information for those CD-ROMs, I mean, for those
computers and even the laptop. This particular CD-ROM, you need internet capability, but you also internet capability, and you need to work with the laptop or the hard drive. The other important point, I think, is that there's a bibliography that is at the end of this. If you can create enough interest, they can click on to the bibliography. And hopefully with future productions from Fisk and other institutions, those bibliographies will also go online. Again, we can utilize this wonderful technology, the internet, as a real tool of learning. We won't have to be so concerned about what's out there on the net. Colleges, universities, writers, thinkers, we put that, and that becomes the new tool. So we're really excited about it. It's especially exciting to take something as traditional as the Harlem Renaissance, and suddenly have it cutting edge in 2002.
And to see it from a different perspective, I think that the very nature of the internet and this technology allows a broader reference to all of this information here.
And if America is going to remain, the United States is going to remain the leader of the world, we've got to step forward and challenge technology and make it something not just for 10%, not just for the old elite, but for all of our people. We've also had to facilitate ideas, like the ideas of poise and pride. The Harlem Renaissance was a very inclusive sort of adventure also, because it included all who were welcome to come, and that's much the legacy of historically black colleges. No one has ever been excluded because of race. They've always been inclusive.
Very good. And Dr. Mitchell, let me over the last minute thank you for bringing that excellent information about the Harlem Renaissance and this new CD production, because I think it is cutting edge in terms of technology and what will appear in the classroom situation. And so many of us who are still tied down to textbooks are going to find out that the computer has basically eliminated our situation in terms of getting information across to students.
But I think it's always important that the professor master that and utilize that as a part of the learning experience.
Very good.
Thank you, Dr. Haney.
And thank you, Dr. Mitchell, for coming by and giving us that excellent information about the Harlem Renaissance, as you call it, from Harlem to Nashville. And of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.